Hello friends, this is Pratik Kumar Srivastava, PGT English KV number 1 Satna. This is my second lecture on Robert Frost's A Roadside Stand. As you know, this poem is from your textbook Flamingo, poem number 5. General summary of the poem. Robert Frost, a highly acclaimed American poet, in his poems usually focused on the themes of human tragedies and fears and their ultimate acceptance or their solution. In his poem A Roadside Stand, he deals with the lives of poor, deprived people of the villages with a clarity that is perceptive and at the same time portrays his deepest sympathies and his feelings of humanity. The poem also brings in to focus the unfortunate fact that progress and development is unequal between the cities and the villages, leading to feelings of distress and unhappiness among the dwellers of the latter. In the poem, the poet describes the feelings of the owners of a roadside shed who seem to wait interminably for those whizzing past their house in their shiny cars to stop and buy something from the shack, some fruit, some humble vegetables, or even stop and rest in the beautiful mountainscape. They long for the feel of hard currency that is a symbol of poverty alleviation in their lives of deprivation. It appears to be a vain hope, however, that those who do glance their way are either reproachful of the blot on the landscape, their shed that seems to mar the beauty of the landscape, or stop to ask for directions. Some use the space to turn their cars around unmindful of the damage to their turf. The poet is outraged at the callous attitude of the government, the civic authorities, and the social service agencies who appear to help them but actually end up harming them. The news says that these poor people are to be relocated to the vicinity of the towns near the theatre and the shops. There they will be well looked after and will have nothing worrisome to think about. The poet, however, regards this as a great disservice to the people who will be thus robbed of their voices and their freedom and ability to find solutions to their problems. Lulled in to oblivion by this false and perhaps short lived sense of security, the villagers will forever lose their abilities to make calculated decisions for themselves and become pawns in the hands of their so called benefactors who are waiting to take over their land. This will finally culminate in a futile sense of dissatisfaction for the villagers. The poet is filled with sadness to see the almost childish longing that seems to emanate from the roadside shed for a life that is described in the movies, a life so far removed from their life in the village. The unthinking occupants of a car who stop at the shed to buy a gallon of gas speaks of the disconnect that exists in the perceptions of town people with regard to the villagers. They are unable to comprehend that the lives of the villagers are far removed from theirs, so replete with the comforts that the material world offers. The poet is saddened at the thought that the rural poor have not been able to experience the satisfaction that comes from a feeling of well being and contentment. He feels that it would be easy to still these complaining voices once and for all by changing the lives of the villagers, but he questions the wisdom of this rash act. Coming on to the next slide. Here are some short extracts for comprehension. Kindly read the following extracts and answer the questions that follow. The first is: the little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped, a roadside stand that too pathetically pled. It would not be fair to say for a dole of bread, but for some of the money, the cash whose flow supports the following of cities from sinking and withering faint. First question: why had a new shed put up by the occupants of the little old house? Answer: the occupants of the little old house had put up the new shed to extend their area and possibly business. Second question: why does the poet refer to the roadside stand as pathetic? Answer is: the poet refers to the roadside stand as pathetic because it is not comfortable and attractive. Third question: what is the purpose of the shed? Answer is: the purpose of the shed is that the passengers would stop and buy something from them, or even stop and rest in the beautiful mountainscape. Second extract: it is in the news that all these pitiful kin are to be bought out and mercifully gathered in, to live in village next to the theatre and the store, where they won't have to think for themselves anymore. This is the extract, and the first question is: What does the news proclaim? The news proclaims that the land of the villagers will be purchased by some developers, possibly from the city. Second question: who do these pitiful kin refer to? Why will they be mercifully gathered in? Answer: these pitiful kin refers to the villagers who have been deprived of their home and land. They will be mercifully gathered in to live in villages near the theatre and stores in the city. Third question: where will one see those poor villagers? Answer is: one will see the poor villagers near the theatre and the stores or multiplexes in the vicinity of the towns or cities. Now, some examples of figures of speech in the poem. What are the poetic devices used in the poem? Quick revision. First is transferred epithet. Examples are polished traffic and selfish cars. As you can see, the meaning is transferred into the next word, polished traffic and selfish cars. Next, personification. The phrase that describes personification is the sadness that lurks behind the window, the roadside stand that too pathetically pled. Next, alliteration. Examples are greedy good doers and beneficent beasts of prey, also pathetically pled. Students, what is alliteration? Alliteration is repetition of words, such as G sound is repeated in greedy good doers and B sound is repeated in beneficent beasts and P sound is repeated in pathetically pled. You know, alliteration is also of two kinds, consonance and assonance. Consonance is repetition of consonant sounds. Assonance is repetition of vowel sounds. Next poetic device used in the poem is oxymoron. These phrases, greedy good doers and beneficent beasts of prey, are examples of both alliteration and oxymoron. What is oxymoron? Oxymoron is contradiction of words, such as how can greedy be good and beneficent is benevolent or beautiful. How can benevolent be a beast? So they are both examples of oxymoron. Now some difficult words from the poem. We begin with the title itself, Roadside Stand. It is a little shed that sells cheap essentials for the passers-by. Sped means passed in great haste and speed, that is quickly raced away. Dole is a piece. City money means big amount of money. The city men are those rich enough to be insensitive to the sufferers who pass by in their cars from the village roads, highways passing through villages. Now, while passing by the roadside stand, they grow angry and speed away, often cursing the poor. Next, feel in hand. It means the poor people do not want promises, they want the promises fulfilled. Next phrase, selfish cars. The cars are selfish because the people who travel in them are self centered and they do not care about the poor people by the side of the road. Next phrase, farmers' prices. Farmers' prices refer to the wages for which the farmer could be hired to work in their city. Farmers' prices can also refer to the prices of the berries, squash, and paintings displayed at the roadside stand, which they are expecting the rich to stop their cars and purchase. Now, this is an activity for you students. Read the following lines and answer with reference to the context. The lines from the poem are: the hurt to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint, so much as the trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. Here, far from the city, we make our roadside stand and ask for some city money to feel in hand, to try if it will not make our being expand and give us the life of the moving pictures promise that the party in power is said to be keeping from us. The first question is, what do the owners of the shack wish for? Second question, how will it help them? Third question, what is the party in power keeping from these rural poor? Fourth question: what do you think the life of the movie pictures implies? Students, you have to note these questions and write their answers. Try to answer them on your own. These questions are quite common. The extracts with 3 to 4 questions, they are part of the blueprint and they come mandatorily in the exam. So you have to prepare for important passages from all the poems. So make notes and prepare them in your notebooks. Keep them in writing. A very important question that comes often, that is asked from this poem, is the use of the phrase "this crossly." It is used in the poem 2 times. So the question: what is the significance of the refrain "this crossly" used twice in the poem? The "this" refers to the preceding phrase or dialogue. Crossly means gruffly or with ill grace. The repetition is purely for emphasis, for literary purpose. The meaning from context is that people who live along the big highways resent the traffic. They are not happy because the passers-by do not stop to buy their local products from their roadside stands. In the first case where this crossly is used, although many of them are more than willing to sell produce or a painting to the passing motorists, represented metaphorically as the cars themselves rather than the drivers, in order to have a share of the affluence possessed and represented by the city folk, they are less willing and the poet thinks what the villagers might be thinking, that you can keep your money. So the city folk are less willing to do so when the impatient motorist relieves their frustration by whining at the proprietor. That is, whatever they are asking, and the villagers are not able to give the right answer. So they despise them. In the second case, the motorist is asking desperately for help in some random location, short of gas, and hoping against hope that one of these rural dwellers has a supply of fuel of which they can spare a little. and are not begging but asking to buy it. And the villagers are again grumpily responding, but presenting the asker as foolish to expect such a thing, and perhaps a little unfairly questioning their observational skills. Suppose, how can a gallon of gas be found in a roadside stand that sells fruit berries and squash, golden squash? The final stanza is a confession that the author isn't superior to the country folk after all. Now, here is the assignment for you students. Think and answer in brief. The first question: the city folk who drove through the countryside hardly paid any heed to the roadside stand or to the people who ran it. If at all they did, it was to complain. Which lines bring this out, and what was their complaint about? The second question is: what was the plea of the folk who had put up the roadside stand? The third question: the government and other social service agencies appear to help the poor rural people but actually do them no good. Pick out the words and phrases that the poet uses to show their double standards. Fourth question: what is the childish longing that the poet refers to, and why is it vain? Vain means worthless. Last question of the assignment: which lines tell us about the insufferable pain that the poet feels at the thought of the plight of the rural poor? So, this sums up the two lectures. Students, kindly try to answer these questions on your own. Please do not copy from anywhere. In the exam, it is you who is going to write. Write the answers and discuss it with your teachers. They will definitely suggest any improvements that you need to improve your writing skills. If you like, you can also contact me Thank you for listening.